The Salt Creek Trail is a 25-plus mile recreational trail through the western suburbs of Chicago. It follows the meandering path of the Salt Creek, which begins in north suburban Palatine and winds its way south for approximately 45 miles before emptying into the Des Plaines River in the northwest corner of the forested suburb of Riverside. This video is a tour of the Salt Creek Trail from the point at which the Salt Creek empties into the Des Plaines River and all the way up to its northern end at Busse Woods. Busse Woods contains over 12 miles of recreational paths that run around lakes and waterways. These trails are also detailed, making this video an overview of approximately 40 miles of bike trails through Cook and DuPage Counties.
Today I'm in Riverside, Illinois, and behind me is the point at which the Salt Creek enters into the Des Plaines River. I'm going to ride the Salt Creek Trail 25 miles north to Busse Woods. Then I'm going to do a loop through Busse Woods.
The Salt Creek is named for the natural salt deposits that appear along portions of the waterway. These salt deposits attracted indigenous people, early settlers, and wildlife. In the 1960s, dams were created where the Salt Creek runs through the Busse Woods. These projects spurred the creation of recreational paths through Busse Woods. The southern sections of the trail that run east to west from Brookfield to Oak Brook were subsequently completed in the 1970s. Beginning in the 1990s, efforts were begun by the municipalities between these two ends to connect the established recreational paths in order to create one trail from the Salt Creek terminus at the Des Plaines River to the lakes in Busse Woods. Plank Road Meadow sits at Ogden Avenue and First Avenue and is the point at which the Salt Creek Trail officially begins. There is a canoe takeout spot where the convergence of the Salt Creek and the Des Plaines River can be viewed. The first portion of the trail is unremarkable as it runs north along First Avenue on a surface that is closer to a sidewalk than an actual bike trail. First Avenue is very busy along this stretch as the ride goes along the east side of Brookfield Zoo and Riverside Brookfield High School. Upon reaching 26th Street, a left turn is made and the path begins an approximately 7-mile westward stretch to Oak Brook. In my opinion, this section is the most scenic and enjoyable section to ride on the Salt Creek Trail. The path on this stretch is fully paved, running along the Salt Creek in a mostly wooded setting. Deer sightings are frequent, along with other forms of wildlife interacting with the Salt Creek.
You know, spoiler alert, the early parts of the Salt Creek Trail, once you get on the actual wooded trail, it's the best part. It runs for about 7 miles, more or less along the Salt Creek, real smooth, paved. And then after that, when you get out to Oak Brook, it gets a little bit uneven until you get to Busse Woods. So enjoy the early parts, but Busse Woods, it's a great loop there too. So it's got a good conclusion. Don't be discouraged.
The trail offers long stretches without road crossings. However, care should be taken at 4 of the 5 crossings as they do not contain streetlights, and cars do not always stop for cyclists. The crossing at Manheim Road is quite busy and offers a glimpse of Westchester while waiting for the walk signal to appear. The trail is quite popular with walkers and bikers and has a posted speed limit of 15 miles per hour. Therefore, it is not conducive to faster riding. There are many picnic groves adjacent to the path and frequent walking trails into the surrounding woods, especially in the Salt Creek Woods Nature Preserve and the Busse Woods, which lie on the western edge of the trail. After crossing Wolf Road, the Salt Creek Trail goes under the I-294 expressway. The underpass was closed to traffic for over 2 years between 2023 and 2025. The Dorothy and Sam Dean Nature Sanctuary is just to the north of I-294 and offers walking paths around water and through prairies and the wetlands. Canterbury Lane brings the trail out to York Road and offers glimpses of new construction homes in differing styles, all displaying over-the-top opulence. The Salt Creek Trail proceeds north along York Road on a crushed gravel surface that parallels the road. The path passes by the Oak Brook Golf Club and eventually over the I-88 expressway. While the trail proceeds north along York Road, the actual Salt Creek travels in a different direction through Fullersburg Woods and the suburb of Oak Brook. Fullersburg Woods is not part of the Salt Creek Trail, However, it offers 4 miles of trails that go through woods and along the Salt Creek. The Night Heron Trail is a 2.3-mile crushed gravel trail that is open to cyclists and provides an excellent overview of Fullersburg Woods and the surrounding nature. Upon passing over I-88, a circular descent brings the trail into the York Woods Forest Preserve. This offers a brief stretch through a wooded setting that brings the trail to Roosevelt Road. Upon reaching Roosevelt Road, a trail along a frontage road brings a path to an underpass under Roosevelt Road, an underpass that can get flooded during rainy seasons. A trail goes along the backside of residential buildings and across Butterfield Road and into Eldridge Park. The Salt Creek runs directly through this rather large park run by the Elmhurst Park District. Eldridge Park features small lakes, hills, and natural settings, and the paths are popular with walkers. The trail continues north into residential Elmhurst while running along the Salt Creek and eventually terminates on a residential street that can be taken north until reaching the Illinois Prairie Path.
You know, the Salt Creek isn't always right along the trail, but you encounter it a lot. Every time you get away from it, it comes back. I don't know how many bridges you go over the Salt Creek, but it's got to be at least a dozen, maybe closer to 20. So, kind of a cool aspect of the trail.
The Salt Creek Trail briefly joins the Prairie Path as it passes over the Salt Creek and Route 83. However, a right turn is taken after the overpass and the Salt Creek Trail departs the Prairie Path and continues north through Elmhurst. This stretch runs parallel to Route 83 while switching between paths along the Salt Creek and road riding. Signage keeps riders on course and the trail passes under St. Charles Road and North Avenue.
Now I'm going through Elmhurst right now, and one of the drawbacks of this trail is it's choppy. You go from trail, which I'm on right now, which is really great and all, but going over the Salt Creek, look at that. Hey, Salt Creek, what's up? But then you get back on the road and you have to navigate, and if you don't know where you're going, it could be really disconcerting and really mess with the flow of the day. So right now on a trail, but looks like it's about to end in a second, so onto the road.
After passing under North Avenue, the trail goes through Cricket Creek Forest Preserve. The trail changes to crushed gravel in this expansive area that travels around small lakes, through prairie landscapes, and along the Salt Creek. Elmhurst gives way to the suburb of Addison, and the stretch running through the natural settings comes to an end upon reaching Addison Road. A right turn at Addison Road brings the path along this busy road and past Oak Meadows and Maple Woods golf courses. After passing the golf courses, it is necessary to cross Addison Road at Forest Preserve Drive and follow signs to an asphalt path that runs under electrical lines. This brings the trail to the large overpass that travels over busy Irving Park Road. This middle portion of the Salt Creek Trail runs through numerous municipalities and has seen a series of improvements over the course of decades that have improved the ambitious plan of creating a trail that follows the endlessly meandering Salt Creek. Recently installed signage has greatly improved the riding experience by offering frequent visuals of the overall trail and the specific area in which the sign is situated.
These new trail information signs are really frequent and really helpful. Right now we're at a kind of a confusing part of the trail where you have to cross a road, go down a little road, and then get back on a trail and go over Irving Park Road. That used to always be really confusing, but this signage makes it very clear. The trail seems to be redone a little bit along this busy road. So really, a lot of improvements on the Salt Creek Trail. I'm very pleased by this.
After passing over the Irving Park Road overpass, the trail briefly runs along some railroad tracks and reaches Prospect Avenue. The Salt Creek Trail runs directly along Prospect Avenue and under the I-90 expressway. Upon passing under the expressway, a right turn is necessary onto a bike lane on Thorndale Avenue that runs parallel to the expressway.
When you go underneath the 90 expressway, you need to really pay attention. It's confusing. The signage isn't good. I always seem to mess it up. But you go under it, and then you take a right, and there's a new bike lane, protected bike lane, and it runs along this golf center. driving range. So if you do that, you're on the right way. But it's confusing and the signage isn't great.
Thorndale Avenue meets Mattel Boulevard, and a left turn brings the ride north for the final stretch to Busse Woods. Upon crossing Devon Avenue, the road becomes Ridge Avenue, and the ride enters into the suburb of Elk Grove Village. The riding this final stretch is street riding. However, there is plenty of room to bike, traffic is relatively light, and there are street markings that delineate the path for cyclists. There is a left turn at Elk Grove Boulevard, and the road passes by Elk Grove High School, before terminating at Arlington Heights Boulevard and the entrance into Busse Woods.
It's been about a month since I completed the Salt Creek portion of this video. Now I'm back to do the Busse Woods loop.
Busse Woods offers over 3,700 acres of nature that includes forests, wetlands, and lakes that are all accessible via 13 miles of recreational paths, countless picnic groves, and recreational fields. It is home to a variety of recreational activities including fishing, boating, and cycling. Busse Woods offers numerous access points and parking areas for cyclists visiting the park. There are a series of small lakes, reservoirs, and pools that were all created by the Army Corps of Engineers in the 1960s when dams were created to control the water flow of the Salt Creek. There is one main trail that runs for nearly 8 miles in a circular fashion around the waterways of Busse Woods. This trail can be done clockwise or counterclockwise and is quite popular with bikers, walkers, and joggers. The trail has a smooth asphalt surface, is plenty wide, and has regular mileage markers that provide regular reminders of the distance traveled. Similar to the early portions of the Salt Creek Trail, there is a posted speed limit of 15 miles per hour.
I don't like to brag, but I picked a good day to come out here. It's November 4th, and it is peak color season. Temperature's nearly 60 degrees, and days like this, they're not gonna last for long this time of year, but it's a great day for a loop in Busse Woods.
Higgins Road runs diagonally through Busse Woods, and there are 2 overpasses over this busy road that involves some climbing. A unique feature of Busse Woods is encountered after passing over Higgins Road on the east end of the woods. This is the area of the Busse Woods Elk Pasture. In 1925, 10 elk were brought into this pasture from the area around Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. For the past 100 years, offspring of these original 10 elk have lived in this pasture in honor of the elk that historically lived in these forests. There are currently at least 2 elk in the pasture and can be seen grazing within the fenced-off areas. At the northern end of the Busse Woods Loop is a 2¼ mile trail section that travels to the northeast corner of the Forest Preserve. Taking this side path will necessitate an out and back trip of 4.5 miles while running through an open field and along the 290 Expressway and Gulf Road. This results in a departure from the natural setting experienced on the main Busse Woods Loop.
So this 2¼ mile extension of the Busse Woods Loop north of Higgins Road, it provides more trails. You could, an out and back on it, you're adding 4.5 miles to the main loop. It doesn't offer too much, just through a big open field and then along a busy road. But again, if you want to get more miles in, it's a good way to do a quick 2¼ mile out and back for a total of 4.5.
The western portion of the loop passes over the Salt Creek and over the 3 dams that were built in order to contain the Salt Creek. The dams are popular fishing spots, and boats are usually out on the water in the warmer months of the year. The main Busse Lake is contained by the largest of the 3 dams, the appropriately named South Dam. It is at this point that water leaves Busse Woods and begins the flow south to the Des Plaines River, and it is also at this point at which this overview of the Salt Creek Trail and the Busse Woods Loop comes to an end.
And that's a wrap. The Salt Creek Trail and the Busse Woods Loop. From the Salt Creek southern terminus, where it enters the Des Plaines River, to the northern end, where it's dammed up in Busse Woods.
Thank you for watching this overview and review video of the Salt Creek Trail and Busse Woods. I hope it has inspired you to check out some or all of these trails and take advantage of this unique biking opportunity through the western suburbs of Chicago.